Hello, and I want to welcome and thank the moderators who are going to help with the upcoming Conference of Research Workers in Animal Diseases. This video is going to present a tutorial on using the Preseria Conference System, which is the software system that we're going to use to manage all of the PowerPoint presentations. As a moderator, your job will mainly entail starting, stopping presentations, moving from one presentation to the next. This tutorial does cover how to start the software system, how to select the correct session, and how to download sessions. That would be just in the case of some type of troubleshooting that's necessary. For the most part, we anticipate that all you'll have to do is move from one presentation to the next. I want to thank Dag Lardal from Preseria, who's going to narrate the tutorial. And with that, we will go ahead and start his explanation of how to use the Preseria Conference System.
To launch the Preseria desktop application, you need to double-click on the shortcut named Preseria Conference on your desktop. But before we do that, we want to make sure that the computer is set up in extended desktop mode. This is important if you want to let the speakers use the presenter view feature of PowerPoint, showing notes and a preview of the upcoming slide. To enable extended desktop mode, first make sure your projector is connected to the computer. Then press and hold the Windows button on your keyboard before pressing the letter P for projector. This will bring up a side menu that will let you select Extend. Select it if it isn't already selected, and wait until Windows has finished setting up the screens. When the display settings are configured correctly, start Preseria Conference. Once the application is fully loaded, a window will appear with two options, Technician mode and Presenter mode. The Technician mode is simpler but less powerful. The Presenter mode has more features and is recommended when you have set your projector screen in extended desktop mode. The application will remember your last choice, so you probably don't need to think about the two options. I'd recommend you just select Presenter mode if it isn't already selected and click on Start. The first screen you will meet after starting is the login screen. It will also remember what you have entered the last time you used it. As long as you are connected to the internet, you should click Login. If you for some reason lose internet connection, you can still access your previously downloaded presentations by clicking Offline mode. In the main menu, you just click Conferences to get to your conference and its sessions. As you can see, you just have one conference here, as expected. You click it to mark it blue, and then click Open Conference. Then you'll get a list of all the sessions in your conference. You'll have to drag the title column a little bit to the right to see all the text and to see which room the sessions are for. And you'll also see here the start and dates, the number of presenters, and the status of the session. None of the sessions are downloaded to this computer yet, so it will say no, not downloaded.
I'm going to pause Dag's explanation here for just a moment and explain that while each of the sessions is numbered from 1 to 50, those lasting approximately an hour and a half each, the way that the presentations are set up in Preseria for convenience sake and to help with the download is that all of the sessions for a given day, for a given room, are set up as one Preseria session. So sessions 1 through 6, for example, all occur on Monday in room 1, and they will all show up in the Monday in room 1 session, even though they are 1 through 6 in the program.
Let's say we are in the room 1 and it's Monday and we need to download this session. We click it and we click Start Session. The application will now initiate a download and download all the presentations from the session or the updated presentations that have been uploaded recently. As you can see, it's still a little bit early, so none of the presentations here have been uploaded. So we're just going to go back to Sessions by clicking the Sessions button and select another one where we actually have some files that had come in. Now you can see also that the Monday in room 1 has a new status. It's synchronized, which means that all the presentations that have been uploaded by the presenters also have been downloaded to this computer.
Again, I'll just reiterate that for the most part, the moderators will not have to switch between different sessions. They will only have to stay looking at one session, as all of that will have already been uploaded to the computer, downloaded the computer before the session starts.
So I think this one has a presentation in it that is already uploaded. This one maybe. Yes. And here we can see that the application is downloading a presentation that has been uploaded by a presenter. This might take some time depending on how many presentations that you need to update. And here you can see the list of presenters for this session. Actually, these are 2 sessions with a break between them. So this is just all the presentations for room 4 on Tuesday. Just to summarize the last few points, to start Preseria Conference, double-click on the icon on the desktop, wait until it's loaded, then click Start, make sure presenter mode is selected, click Login if the login credentials are already entered, click Conferences, select your conference, and click Open Conference. Drag the title column so that you can see which session you want to download. Find the session that's relevant for your room, click it, then it should be marked with this light blue color, and click Start Session. Then you'll get to the presenter view, or the actual presentation dashboard.
As we move into the next section about how to select presenters and start their actual files, I want to reiterate that this is actually the part that the moderators will mostly have to deal with. We've included the prior information in case you have to reboot a computer or restart the software or troubleshoot in another fashion. For the most part, this is where most of the moderators will actually have to, where their work actually starts on things.
Once you've opened your session, you'll get to the presenter dashboard. This is what's shown on the computer, the laptop on the podium, while this is showing the same as the projector screen is displaying. So imagine this is just a preview of the actual live feed from what the projector is showing. To select a presenter, you find their name in the list, or their title of the presentations in the list over to the right. This should be ordered according to the conference program, unless there have been some changes to the program that hasn't been reflected in the Preseria conference setup. So to select a presenter and their presentations, you first click on their title and name. Then this area over here will show all the files that the presenter has uploaded. Normally, you'll just see one file in each of these presenter slots. So when I've clicked this viral metagenomics something, then this file will appear here, and I'll have to click it once. Then it's marked blue, and then you click play file. Now the computer will open the file in presenter mode, and you're probably familiar with this. This is just a PowerPoint user interface showing the current slide, what is shown to the audience on the projector, the next slides, and a few other menu items. Sorry. Okay, let's show you how to close a presentation and open up the next one. By the way, you can resize the elements on the Preseria dashboard so that you can fit all the presentations in the presentation lists without having to scroll through them. Okay, I'll select the presentation at 12:15, and I'll start the PowerPoint that's uploaded in that presentation slot. That will bring up the PowerPoint presenter mode, and the speaker will then show his or her slides. And once they're finished, and finished with the eventual questions that the audience might have to them, you as a moderator will then just press the escape button on the keyboard to bring up the Preseria dashboard again. Note that the presentation is still running now, so the audience still sees the last slide. And to close the current presentation, you just select the next presentation slot in line. That will close it down, and the background image for the conference will be shown. Currently, there are no background image set for this conference, so it defaults back to the default black Preseria background with the logo. And to start the next presentation, you then just click on the file that is first in line in this next presentation slot. I'll click this one. It's a PDF, and therefore it won't open in its own presenter view, as Adobe Reader doesn't have that. So you'll see it in the Preseria dashboard instead. It works similar. The presenter will move through his or her slides, and now you don't need to press escape because you already have the presentation dashboard as the topmost window. So to go to the next presentation and close this one, just select the next speaker in line. This is currently empty, so we don't have anything else to show here.
I want to point out that DAG has shown how to use both PowerPoint and PDF files for presentations. Both of those are acceptable formats for CRWAD 2017 conference, although you will have a slightly different visible screen to the presenter when you're actually doing it. When you present PowerPoint, you'll have the PowerPoint interface, If someone is presenting PDF, then they'll have the Preseria interface, which you're looking at right now.
Until now, I've only shown you the presenter screen. Now I'm showing you the projector screen, which is what the audience will see. And if I select a presentation and launch it, it will appear on the projector screen. Then the presenter can move through, and if the moderator wants to close the presentation and open up the next one, he presses the escape button, selects the next presentation, which brings up the default background image. Here you can set your own background image for your conference, by the way. And I'll select the next file in line. It will load, and once open, it will be shown on the projector screen. So this is the experience that the audience will have with Preseria. If the update available button turns red, that means that there's an update for this session. An update can either be that the presenter has uploaded a new file and replaced the old version of his or her file, or that a presenter has been moved to another place in the program, maybe replaced another presenter or gotten a new time slot for their presentation. Either way, you shouldn't update in the middle of a session. You should only click the update available button during breaks. So if you see this become red, then wait until the session is over and the break starts before downloading the new presentations. If we click the update available button, the current presentation, if there's any presentation running, will be stopped, and you'll get this dialog up asking you if you want to download the following files. And here we see that there's just a demo presentation that I just uploaded to force this update available button becoming red. And since we're just showing this now, I'll click yes. And you'll see that the new files are downloaded. So, what should you do if someone arrives with a USB stick in hand just before the session starts? I would keep it simple. I would just plug in the USB stick to the computer. Which will bring up the Explorer window. Then I'd minimize the Preseria Conference window, and I would just copy the file to my desktop. And I'd just normally run it from there without involving the Preseria software at all. This is if you're short on time. If you have a little bit longer, you may add it into the Preseria playlist by doing this. When you plug in the USB stick, the file selector will automatically change to the local files tab. So you may, if you feel that you have enough time, you can select the presenter that has just delivered his or her presentation on a USB, and you can select local files. Then usually the USB should automatically be selected. If not, you can click on the drive selector and select the correct USB drive. Then click on the presentation file, click Add to Presentation, and just select Yes. And here you can usually just click No if it's a PowerPoint, it shouldn't have the videos linked, it should be embedded. So just click no linked videos. This way the presentation will be copied to the Preseria backup folder, which are located under your documents folder, under Preseria, the conference name and the session name. And it should also appear in the playlists, but as the local label on it. Then you can play it normally from Preseria. If something goes wrong during the session, for instance, if a presentation doesn't want to close, or the application becomes unresponsive or something else, the general advice is just to close down the application and start it again. Hopefully this won't happen, but if it happens, the best idea is just to restart the program and then log back in and open the session for the room that you're in. Another thing that can happen is that a file isn't correctly downloaded. Hopefully you'll have all the files ready before your session starts and all the presenters have upheld the deadline. But if you need to do an update and the file for some reason isn't playing, or you get an error from Windows telling you that the file is corrupt, it's possible to re-download the file. You can do that by clicking on the presentation, clicking on the file, and then clicking on re-download file. Then the file will be downloaded again, and hopefully there shouldn't be any problem now. You can also view the actual files in the Explorer window by clicking either on the file and then click on Show in Explorer. You'll see that the files are saved on your hard drive under the Preseria folder in your Documents folder. There it's and from there it's named the conference and the session and the name of the presentation and when it was last updated. That's the final folder, and under there you'll find the presentation and some thumbnails. So you can manually also run the presentation from the Explorer window, but then it won't look completely as good because you'll manually have to maximize the presentation and put it into full screen mode. In this case we have a PDF, so then the full screen shortcut is Control and the keyboard button L, or you click View and full screen mode. The same applies for PowerPoint. If you need to run it manually for some reason, you can find it by clicking on it, clicking on Show in Explorer, and double-clicking on it launches it, and you'll get the familiar PowerPoint view, where you can start the slideshow and optionally setting the monitor on which the slideshow should run, and if you should run using presenter view, which is the default in Preseria. You also have a shortcut to your session and all the files in the current session by clicking on Backup Files. And you'll see all the files that are uploaded for Tuesday in room 4. Here you can see the folders of the files, and sometimes there'll be multiple folders for the same kind of file, but with separate timestamps. and that's because Preseria will keep all the versions of the file. So, but it'll only show the latest version if you've updated presentation when running it from Preseria. If you're going to run it manually, you should make sure that you select the one that has the most recent date stamp. Select that folder and open that file. That should be it. It shouldn't be too hard to operate this software, even though you haven't used it before. I hope you have a successful conference, and I wish you all the best and good luck.
I want to thank Dag again for preparing that tutorial for us. I think you can see that it's a pretty straightforward software system to use. We have included some of the troubleshooting just in case. It's better to, we feel better for you to be aware of how to overcome problems than to not be aware of that. A couple things to point out. You probably noticed that the software will be run on Windows operating system. So if you are not familiar with using a computer using Windows operating system, you may want to check in with the section chair or a moderator before the session starts, just so that you're comfortable with the commands for starting and stopping the different software pieces. We have asked that there is a section chair that is providing backup to you in case there are problems that you encounter, and we will provide you with a phone number and email for the section chair. We will also have a person that is working for CRWAD that is providing AV support for the presentations, and you can also contact that person. As a third backup step, you can also contact me on my cell phone or by email. Here are a few pointers that Dag has summarized for you. We'll make these available on the moderator support site on the CRWAD website, along with the PowerPoint specific troubleshooting that he's provided here. With that, I want to thank everyone for helping again with moderating sessions at CRWAD 2017, and we can't wait to see you in Chicago. Thanks very much.